Welcome to the Draw My Life of Lafayette Ron Hubbard. He created the controversial religion Scientology and wrote 47 books in his lifetime. He is known as an accomplished man by some, but evil by others. 1909! His mom was Ladora Mae Hubbard, and his dad was Harry Ross Hubbard. They lived in Omaha, Nebraska, like I used to. Finally, he was born in 1911 in Fieldon, Nebraska, and his name was inspired by a place where his parents came. In 1924, he receives the rank of the youngest Eagle Scout at 13, claiming to be the youngest ever. But this cannot be proven, as there has been no records. People take his word for it, though. In 1927, he enrolls in Helena High School with his maternal grandparents, as his family was in Guam. He gets kicked out, though, for his insanely low grades, but the highest grade he had was a B in writing. So his imagination flew and he wished to be at Guam with his parents, which he eventually did. Hubbard wins 3 medals as a U.S. naval officer fighting in Guam. He dropped out of school, became part of the Marine Corps, and came to live with his aunts to achieve his dreams. In 1933, he finally settles in LA with his family, happy with 2 kids, but he wanted more. He wanted something different, even though they loved him. He lived with them for 12 years until he wanted to go back to the Army. Be in the Air Force, well, planes didn't look like that back then. And then he tried out for it, but miserably failed. Then he tried for the Army, and failed that too. He was hopeless. In 1939, he went to join the Explorers Club in New York City, inspired by his Eagle Scouts. Hubbard got kicked out of the club for displaying false information about himself. And then he was trying to balance NYC or family. But he abandoned his family and faced sharp criticism for his choices. Louise filed a divorce against Hubbard for never being there and abandoning his family. And Jamie Kennedy, one of his child's grandsons, became his biggest criticizer of that time. Hubbard was in a lot of debt from fraud, and he spent his time in New York on machinery for vehicles. In 1952, religion was still a big thing, and it was a big part of American culture. And he saw all these other churches around, and he wondered, what do these all have in common? Well, they all make a ton of money, and he was in debt for fraud, so he created the Church of Scientology. 16 months before his divorce, he was already dating Sarah Northup Hollister. It was kept a secret, as his other wife didn't even know about it. Also in 1952, he writes the Book of Scientology, the most controversial, the fastest growing, and the most dangerous cult in the world. After this book, the Church of Scientology was blooming and growing. Like he says back in 1949, if a man really wanted to make $1 million, the best way to do it would be to start his own religion, which he did, and it worked for him. Then what do Scientologists believe in anyway? Well, we already went over some basic beliefs, but we're gonna get more in depth with it. So you already know about Xenu, and he was believed to be the devil. Now, so what he did is he paralyzed humans because they were too overpopulated. He got rid of some, and he kept about 1 million. Then he put them in cinemas and had them watch movies of what life should be like and what they were supposed to do. These spirits were called thetans, which is meant to be your soul. Now, these souls floated around the earth and stuck together and then evolved into body thetans, which we are believed to be today. Now, the only way to get to a better place and become, relieved of what we once were, we must find the truth and purify ourselves and find out what we were really 75,000 years ago. You might be asking yourself, what is the purpose of Scientology? Scientology's purpose is more to address your spiritual being rather than your body and your mind. And it's supposed to bring out the best in you and just show you that you could do anything and there's no end and you are God. Why do you think it's called Scientology? What makes it have the science part in its name? Lafayette Ron Hubbard was a brilliant man, and not that he was like a great person, but he was clever, and he named it Scientology to make it sound legitimate. He then made the Purification Rundown, a system where you soak in hot saunas and eat really healthy food and take tons of vitamins every day, which killed many people, so he got sued. The major drink about it was CalMag, which is calcium, magnesium, and apple cider vinegar and water, which also killed many people. When Hubbard died in 1986, he was either dead by 3 causes. First, suicide. second, stroke, and third, being murdered. But no one knows though, because there's so much evidence for each one of them, they can't decide. His third wife, Mary Sue Whip, and his 4 children are still alive today that he had with her. Lafayette was a very greedy man, as he stole the E-meter rights from someone and had many accusations of theft, but he was also a pioneer in American aviation and opened the first Scientology church in Phoenix, Arizona. He led expeditions on islands, but was kicked out because of false information, and he was a naval officer in the Second World War. What do you think about this man? Many people compare him to Donald Trump too. Do you see that similarity?